Hi, I'm Wade.
And I'm Lorraine.
And we are on the off-ramp. And we are here in the overlooking the Duluth Harbor in Duluth, Minnesota.
So if you're traveling this way, you stop at the Welcome Center here outside of Duluth and you get a great view of the city below you.
Yeah, it's on the number 2 highway that intersects right at the I-35, I believe it is.
Yeah,
so,
right at that corner kind of.
Yeah. So we are here to introduce our trip. We are heading to Nova Scotia and our plan is to reach it in a week or so. We'll stop off in Ottawa and then in Gasp Bay. But this is just to give you a heads up of where we're heading.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing some new things. We've been to Halifax, Nova Scotia quite often, but we're looking to travel into some new areas. We're not sure how the recent floods are going to affect us, so might have to change our plans quickly.
I've been speaking to family. We have family in Halifax. I've been speaking to them and he said, well, it sounds like it should all be okay by the time we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've had a lot of damage by flooding, so we're hoping the roads will still be okay. So it's a family and friends visit, and we'll be visiting people in Ottawa. I have family there and we have some friends there. And then of course in Halifax, and then in New Brunswick. We'll be spending some time in St. John on the St. John River as well.
A total of about 35 days this trip is, so join us as we travel through and do our weekly posts of where we've been. Well, and one of the things that we really are hoping to do is see if we can pretty much boondock the whole way. I mean, that'll include some Walmarts.
So we'll be boondocking our way and dry camping, and actually looks like we might be meeting up with an old friend that we met in Florida as well too. We might be meeting up with a friend in somewhere in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. We don't know where yet.
Yeah, so we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about dry camping, boondocking, and mooch docking.
All right, so you begin with the dry camping.
Okay, dry camping is when we camp with our van or somebody with a trailer or a motorhome or a tent, but no hookups, no electrical, no water hookups, no sewer hookups, and it's just camping with your device, with your unit, whatever you have.
And wherever.
Yeah, and wherever. I mean, typically a state or provincial park or national park. It could be a tent site. It could even be just a regular site, but there's no hookups. That's dry camping.
So, and then when we say we go boondocking, that means we're staying at a place that's not a designated campsite. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that would be like at maybe a town park, a county park.
A roadside stop.
A roadside stop beside a river somewhere.
Yeah. It could even be government lands. So in the U.S., for instance, there's lots of government lands called, in Florida, it's water management districts. Or
BLM land in some other areas.
Yeah, Bureau of Land Management, which is very much the western part of the U.S. And Canada has some of those as well too, which we are hoping to experience when we hit the northern side of Lake Superior.
Yes.
So the other thing with boondocking is that we do not take anything out of the vehicle. So for instance, if we're parked, well, some boondocking, if we're parked in a roadside park or
in a parking lot.
In a parking
Walmart.
Lot. Or in a little town on a side street, we leave everything in the van. We will not take our chairs out of our van. We will not take any bins that we have in the van. Everything stays in the van, so it looks like we're just parked where we are. It's discreet camping.
As discreet as our van looks.
As discreet as our van looks, yeah.
So the other thing that we're going to do and we want to explain is mooch docking, and that's pretty much kind of how it sounds, but it's basically staying on the driveway of somebody you know, and that they've allowed you to park there. In our case, in this trip, we're going to have 3 separate occasions of mooch docking?
3 separate occasions of mooch docking. One will be in Ottawa at my brother's place, another in Chester, Nova Scotia at my sister and her family's place, and the third
at New Brunswick at my sister and her husband's cottage. So I think that's a lot of mooch docking that we're going to be doing this trip.
Yeah, so it'll be quite a few nights there. Our plan on this trip is to keep our camping as minimal cost as possible. We want to show you and ourselves how affordable we can make camping. Just how affordable we can make camping.
Yes, but the other thing that Wade does a lot of when we drive into a town, he also does, or city, he also makes sure He goes on their websites and checks for their...
Yeah, I'll look for parking ordinances and things like that. So I'll make sure that there's no stated rule where it says no overnight parking in public places, or...
and we check carefully for signs as well.
Yeah, we look very carefully for signs. If there's a sign that says no overnight camping, to us that's the same as no overnight parking, so we will not go there and stay overnight. We do want to respect each of the communities that we are in.
The other thing I think you'd like to know as you follow along with us on this trip is that we're trying to do the Lake Superior tour.
That's
circle
right, the
tour.
circle,
the
yeah.
circle tour.
So our plan is to head to the south first. We'll head down to, I guess Duluth is where it would really start, Duluth, Minnesota. And then we'll head all along the southern end, the southern basin of Lake Superior, right into Sault Ste. Marie.
And then from Sault Ste. Marie, we're going to go up into North Bay. From North Bay down to Ottawa, where we're going to do our first mooch docking. From Ottawa, maybe we'll hit Gaspé Peninsula.
We're hoping to hit Gaspé
Maybe
Peninsula.
We're not sure about
Our
time.
plans are kind of loose time, and we hear that there could be a lot of traffic at this time of the year.
So then after that, off to Nova Scotia, come back to New Brunswick. But when we come back the northern route, that's when we want to do the
Back home to Winnipeg, that is.
That is true. Back home to Winnipeg, then we want to take the north side of Lake Superior. Now, Wade and I actually have done both of those trips a number of times. We've never documented them, but for our YouTube videos, and we hope that it's going to help you. What piece are we missing?
We are missing one piece from Duluth from Thunder Bay to Duluth. One day we will do that little strip as well. It's about a 3 or 4 hour drive. But this time we're going to run out of time. We're going to be gone for about 35 days, so this time we will.
That little piece would complete the circle tour of Superior. What so many gorgeous views and places to stop. So please join us. This is kind of our plans.
But we always say we need to
hold our plans loosely.